Meantime, former President Donald Trump's former Deputy Press Secretary Sarah Matthews is an Ohio native from Stark County, and she sat down with our own Stephanie Haney in an exclusive interview to talk about her time with the Trump administration. So, Steph, this was, a very insightful interview. What did you end up learning?
It really was a wide-ranging conversation, Laura. Sarah is a fellow Northeast Ohioan from North Canton, just next to my hometown. Now, one of the many things that we talked about was her take on the gag order that's being appealed right now in the former president's federal criminal case in Washington, D.C. This is after her experience with seeing his posts on the day of the January 6th insurrection.
I've always believed that Donald Trump got into the 2024 election because he wanted to be a political candidate so that he could spin all of these legal troubles that he knew were going to catch up to him. He could spin it as these are politically motivated and then say that it's a violation of his freedom of speech because he should be allowed to campaign and talk about these things with voters that he's trying to court. And so I think this is the correct decision. We've seen what happens when Trump and his allies tweet out things or Truth Social things about people that he's upset with.
Is on pause right now, that gag order in D.C., as the former president has appealed it, saying he's being unconstitutionally silenced. Now, Matthews, however, thinks the gag order should be put in place because of her past experience with Trump.
The first people that come to mind were some of my fellow witnesses who testified before the January 6th committee, Shay Moss and Ruby Freeman. These were the Georgia election poll workers who they said were part of some conspiracy where they were switching out ballots. None of it was true. And it ruined these women's lives. They literally weren't able to leave their house. They were scared for their lives. They were getting death threats and basically had to become recluses. And so that is why this gag order is put in place, because Donald Trump doesn't care about how his words affect people. And they have very real consequences and impacts on people's lives.
Now, we covered a lot more in our full 40-minute conversation. One of the things that we talked about was why Matthews felt like she was forced to testify before Congress. It was something that she felt compelled to do because of the position she was put in by other people who refused not to do that. That's just one of the other things in our conversation. You can watch that full interview right now. It is on WKYC Plus, WKYC.com, and the WKYC YouTube page.
All right, Steph, thank you so much. We appreciate it.